All right, this is Tom Capania out here, Brutalitopia at St. Vitus here on Friday, May 26th. Oranssi Pazuzu is going to be playing a one-off show before they hit the road and hit down to Baltimore, Maryland, and hit Maryland Death Fest, you know, the biggest thing we have to offer here out in the country. And I'm here with two of the gentlemen from here. We have
Ontto, and I play bass.
Jun-His, I play guitar and do vocals.
Okay, so first things first, welcome back to the States. So this is the first time you guys have been here? Is it the first time? Well, welcome to the States.
Show in US, so
wow.
Really
So we should be privileged. I mean, I know myself, I've only been to Vitus once before, but it's being local to the area, this is the place to be if you're playing metal. So this is exactly where you guys want to be. So at least I can say to my buddies down in Maryland, I'm seeing it 2 nights before you guys are. Okay?
Yeah, it's the first
So now you guys are you playing Ram's Head or Soundstage?
I think it's Ram's Head.
Okay, you're playing at the big
But,
place, okay.
I think it's
Yeah, Ram's Head's a cool place. Ram's Head's a really cool place. It's a lot more modern, big place, but I think the best place to see you guys here tonight at St. Vitus. So, what are your guys' expectations for your first U.S. show?
It's gonna be interesting. I have no idea how the people are gonna react to our music, but I think we're just gonna deliver as much as we can.
Yeah, we're gonna do the usual thing, and since it's the first show in US, just to do our thing, and hopefully people will enjoy it.
Yeah, like your music's pretty all-encompassing. You know, St. Vitus not being a very big place, I think is really just gonna, like, the whole room is just gonna be your playground. You guys can just run wild through everybody's minds with all the psychedelia and the black metal. You guys are just like infusing together so well. It's just like the studio albums are one thing. I just feel like it's gonna be something totally different and, you know, its own thing.
Yeah, hopefully it will. For us, it's always important that we create an atmosphere first on the stage, and hopefully that atmosphere will spread and will resonate with everyone. And I like these kind of places that are kind of intimate.
It's really intense to play,
Yeah.
and the sound is gonna be loud, and we're gonna
So I bring my
drill
earplugs.
down to the brain. So
How is it for you guys, technically speaking, getting ready for the show and everything, with the multitude of pedals and effects and everything? Does that involve a big planning process and setting up?
It's only setting up pretty routinely. Like we got the stuff pretty much where we want it. So
Yeah,
we
it's like
just put the pieces together and
and
on the
since
sound check. It's pretty straightforward.
and it seems like everything is being composed kind of live. It's the same setting is being kind of used already before the studio even. We just do some modifications for the live, but it's kind of just setting up, doing our thing.
Of course, in live situation, it's always a bit different. Something can happen, and we always like to jam a bit and keep it like interesting for ourselves.
You have to keep us on toes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I know you guys like to play like the long form songs, so I feel like if you guys wanted to jam out a little bit, you have the space to really do it within the songs. So, you know, since you guys said you're heading down there, I mean, I know this is St. Vitus here tonight. Thoughts about, you know, playing Maryland Death Fest on Sunday?
I just saw some photos of like what it looks like on the stage. The place is pretty huge. We haven't played that many like big festival shows. One was in Roadburn like a month ago. I guess that was our biggest. Hopefully we'll be able to deliver and resonate the atmosphere even in a bigger place like that. We have our own light guy with us. He's always been with us even before we had our sound guy. We had the same light guy with us. So like that's a big important part of the.
It's about the atmosphere.
Yeah, and he totally knows songs like even better than the band. He kind of he's really into the whole thing. So I'm really happy it's happening inside, and hopefully it will be exploding for people even on Sunday hungover.
That's fine. So are you guys going down tomorrow? You're gonna go like maybe watch for a day and then head out, play on Sunday, or
Yeah, that's the plan.
We're gonna head down there and see some bands, maybe more potential and stuff.
Yeah, they just released a new single. I haven't heard it yet, but I hear it's really good, and it's certainly not the last album.
Yeah, I haven't heard it yet, but yeah, Morbid Angel and Grave is playing, I think, before that.
Oh wow.
Gonna see that definitely.
Yeah.
And then any other, but like I'm always, when I'm checking out bands in festival, I always try to see some new bands I never heard about like before, and then just go and wander around and check out.
And I mean, say the one benefit to this year is you really don't have to wander far because Soundstage and Ramshead are literally like a 2-minute walk across the street from each other. So like the way they've always set it up is Soundstage is more like the hardcore, grindcore, whatever stage. And then you have like the doom, the death metal, and really, I guess any of the big acts would be playing Ramshead now as opposed to playing Edison like they did the last couple of years. But like, I mean, I just knowing the place, I think you guys would convey that sound really well. In Ramshead, it's big, but I don't think it's too big that you guys couldn't fill a room with that too, because of how big your sound really is. So I think you guys are really going to do a nice job in that room. You'll have fun in there.
Yeah, looking forward.
Definitely.
They have a couple of beers on tap that they only sell there too. So if you need a little bit of confidence, you can always take care of that before.
Always.
So any other shows besides these two you guys are doing?
No, it's just these two in US this time, and hopefully we'll be back at some point for like entire tour in the future, hopefully soon. But this is the kind of just the first thing we're doing here.
I mean, you guys have had two pretty big albums recently, but it's nice to see some of your oldest material really see the light of day now coming through as a $20 spin, I believe, right?
Yeah.
I will admit I haven't gotten to them yet, although I really plan to soon with those two. Valanielu, if I'm saying it right, okay, I try. I'm not even going to try with the more recent one. Not the mini, but the full length. How would you say that? Okay. Thank you. There's no way I was going to do that any justice.
Pretty tricky.
Yes. Well, if I hang around you enough, I will. But yeah, it's nice that you guys are making a name for yourself, especially with Valanielu was really a big breakthrough for you guys. I would say internationally. I don't know what was it really like with the first two when you guys were just back home.
It's like for us, it's been just idea of the music and wanting to execute it the best we can and just do it. We never had in mind that we would do any shows outside Finland, basically. At least I didn't.
Yeah, that's
Did you?
Musically wise, we've always wanted to expand the sound of the band, and I think on Valanielu we kind of found this new freedom that we couldn't get right.
Did you maybe not feel comfortable enough to do it, or just let it loose
because
play?
we have always been doing something that is kind of weird for us. We don't want to be comfortable, and we kind of found some way of enjoying that.
Yeah, and it's always about making the music first, and then hoping that if people will wanting to hear it and wanting to release it, all that the music is always first, and then you just do that as good as you can. And like Tony said, we want to do it also so it's on unfamiliar zone for us, so it makes it more intense for us as well. It should be intense, and if we're doing it too safe, it's not going to be intense.
No, and clearly, what you guys have been doing to this point has gotten you here. It's gotten here to Brooklyn. It's getting you guys down to, the closest thing we have to any of the festivals you guys got over in Europe. So that's a huge deal in and of itself. So that's awesome. I'm happy for you guys, to make it out here to not only the best metal venue in the area, but also just the biggest fest we really have to offer, at least on the East Coast. Because there's some other ones coming up around Northwest Terror Fest. You can plug that for my boys in Oakley singing. That looks like a lot of fun. But I think you guys have a lot of fun at MDF.
It's gonna be really nice.
So you guys working on any new material besides what you guys did in Pharmacolian? If I'm saying that right now.
That's actually old stuff that we recorded on a split with fellows Candy Cane from Tampere a couple of years ago, and
2010, I guess.
Yeah.
Wow.
And now we have this new two-song EP.
Nice, that one.
That
That one?
Kevat.
Okay.
spring, and I think we're gonna play at least one song from that tonight. That's kind of the newest stuff we have recorded.
But we haven't written, like we were so busy with shows that we haven't really done any new stuff yet. But since we have new guitarist Ikon in the lineup, like he has been doing shows for like 2 years with us, I think. Now, but now he's like a member.
Yeah, now we're starting to like
get input
finding the right combination.
Right.
But I think it's
with him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be really nice, like after the shows, like when the lineup is really, I don't know, we've done the most shows and are still doing like the most shows we've ever done this year.
Yeah.
It's like after that, like after August, we're gonna start doing like new stuff for new album, and I think it's gonna be really good that the lineup is very, I don't know how to say.
Solidified?
Very much together at that point when we've done so many shows.
Yeah, I think we're gonna take some break from the shows.
Yeah,
and
for sure, we
concentrate
need that.
on writing new material. We always work in like periods.
Oh, of course, yeah. You're going to play some shows, you're going to record some music.
I think band is nothing if they don't make new material.
Oh, of course.
Then it's just something.
Unless you're Guns N' Roses, but that doesn't count.
I guess they're always making new
Yeah, it's a
material.
completely different game.
Yeah, of course.
Speaking of the creative process, may I ask that if you think about Pharmakologen and in between, it has a more metallic, more active, aggressive vibe that I think that then when you guys went to Cosmonument, and then so that was more of a combination of your first album, the Pharmakologen, in a way, but then some of the seeds that you guys were planting with Pharmakologen were just sprouting and reaching culmination with Valonielu, which had a lot of krautrock influence, a lot of aggressiveness in it. So I'm just wondering, how is your creative process and how does it go between all your different releases? Because it doesn't seem that it's perfectly linear or anything, so it's just like you're revisiting some of your old stuff and old influence, and then you're building it. It's just
I think it's really intuitive, and sometimes some ideas are like brewing up and they can like surface again in a different form, but it's not like really that it's really like engineered.
Yeah,
I mean.
Yeah, it's like I think
it's kind of its own. I think the band has its own like spirit.
Yeah, you try to. You're always like taking some new address from the star map and wanting to see what band can actually do with some idea of what kind of entity they can create from this kind of ideas or like whatever, like and like to challenge ourselves as well.
There's always some like surprise element for us also that we can't predict where it goes.
Yeah, and like even when like if someone is making a riff and trying to like I'm gonna make the heaviest riff that this band has, because this band is not always about heaviness.
Right.
But even me or Ontto brings that kind of riff, like it's the heaviest riff for this band. Mm-hmm. It might actually, like when we jam it together, it might transform into something completely.
Yeah.
Okay,
that's what happens.
Yeah, this is the less heaviest riff we've ever done. Like after the jam part, it always creates a kind of new entity when we put it to the, let's say, jam filter of the band, which we always do with any kind of material. And then, like usually when we start to see like what kind of songs we have, at some point we might see, okay, we could do this kind of release, and then maybe we can compose a song, to fit the other songs. But usually we just like pretty much do songs and jam songs like out of the blue, without always having a certain destination. But when it starts to kind of form, okay, there's this kind of thing brewing here.
There's a pattern, and then you start
so you guys are starting to think the same way that you're going to put it together, right?
Yeah. Feeling the pattern, like to be more of a DNA chain or whatever.
Form that double helix, get you guys on the same like brain waves, right?
How does it been, as a follow-up question, if you think about the road from Valonielu to Brutalitopia, I think that you guys also collaborate a lot, and you're close pals with the other guys in the Wasteland and Dark Buddha Rising.
Yeah.
For sure.
Is this cultural exchange, if you will,
Yeah.
did it somehow affect the road to Värähteli and
I think it has like influenced a lot our thinking. Like the guys have like they are really deep thinkers about the music they are making, and that the way they are putting themselves into the game has also inspired us.
Yeah,
and
not
the
only
way-
musically.
Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, other levels as well. I think it's always like when you listen to something that you really like from afar, let's say band from States. We've never met the guys. We love the band. Like Yop, for example. Yop, love that band. But like it's always different when you actually are rehearsing with the guys in the same place.
Yeah.
That you love the music, and then you can also discuss about the philosophy of making music. It's always more profound. You get the influences more profound, like in this case, like in the Wasteland band, Dark Buddha Rising, and like you definitely get the vibe more deeply, and it will affect on what you're gonna do and what
And
we've
we've
been
also
doing.
been jamming with the guys, so it's
Yeah, so for sure.
influencing.
It's like I hope maybe like at least my perspective on this too is you see like maybe people from the United States comment on the music you guys are making. Now you get to like meet some people over here and maybe get a little bit more perspective on like how they feel about it, because anybody can write something on the internet, but we really talk
of
to
course.
somebody that's totally different.
It's totally different, and I really enjoy like discussions on philosophy of making music. Like, why are people usually have different and same motives of creating art. It's always interesting to hear what why is someone making art? Why is someone making music? It's always a good discussion.
Yeah.
And also there might be some hidden things in the music that is not being said.
Yeah, it's a little bit more
Except
nuanced.
for in a like closed circle.
Yeah, even though like music kind of begins where the words end in a way, but you can kind of, I think sometimes when you have a talk with the people who make the music, you can somehow tap into it, like, oh yeah, see what they're doing there, and you get more kind of profoundly into what they're doing.
What are your thoughts about the more general occurrence of psychedelic metal nowadays? I think you guys have been at the forefront of that, but think about the last 2, 3, 4 years, there's been more and more metal bands, whether black metal, death metal, doom metal, they're tapping more and more into psychedelic influences. So how do you see that process going forward, and what are your thoughts about that? The general ultra psychedelicization of metal in general?
Well, I think that in music evolution, there's always things colliding and intertwining, and I guess some bands have like pushed it a bit, and then the ball keeps rolling on, and it gets like bigger. And
yeah, it's really hard to kind of say when the moment of something,
for example,
happening.
For example, Electric Wizard combining like Sabbath riffs to really psychedelic sounds. That was a really big influence for us, and we kind of saw it kind of in a black metal way.
Yeah, and also black metal, I think it has a lot of psychedelia in it, like especially stuff like Orsum and Dark Throne, and kind of more, let's say, minimalistic black metal.
Just the atmosphere.
It's about the atmosphere and about the sound, kind of, and it starts like making tricks in your head, like when the repetition is like, and that was, I think, big influence
For
us.
example, in Burzum old albums, or even new ones, he has lots of repetition, and it's really cosmic
But
and hypnotic.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's-
hypnotic, I think is the best way to describe that.
it's in there, but we have kind of a different take of that.
Yeah, I guess we have more tribal take, or what do you call it? Like not so
Maybe,
metallic, but more kind of wanting to take it more colorful, even more colorful, like than what Burzum does, and to kind of have some more layers to that. I think layers are pretty important for us.
For us also like psychedelic influences, you know, of course it's a big thing. We are actually none of us are like strict metal guys, you know, listening only metal. We enjoy lots of different types of
I feel like that comes through in your music though too, because I feel like, you know, people will hear, oh, it's black metal. Well, you know what? That's probably one of the more varied, you know, kinds of metal too, because there's so many other like layers to it, and you guys, you know, continue on that like multifaceted path, and the atmosphere, everything just kind of gets thrown in there. So clearly, you're drawing from other things. It's not like minimalistic black metal like we were talking about before, but you're pulling from, you know, influences from other bands, and it's just like, yeah, it's a metal package delivered, but it's so many other pieces of other things for you guys to do. So.
Yeah, I think many people don't consider us as a metal band, which is completely fine. Like it's a fusion band. That's what it's always been about. Like as jazz nerdy as it sounds, but it's a fusion.
I noticed that you guys are playing at Flow Festival in Helsinki. So how do you feel about that? For background, that's a very extremely urban hipster
really hipster.
Festival.
A bad thing for the band reputation.
Yeah.
But
you scared the living hell out of the people there.
I think that there's always some people that are open-minded and wanting to experience the music, and I'm not the one who wants to say that you are not allowed to experience.
That's fair. That's fair, because you know what?
It's up to them.
That's a very.
If they don't like it, then
that's a very bad metal stereotype. Like, I'm only good enough to listen to your music, but fuck you for wanting to even bother.
But
you know,
that's like I'm coming from like a bit of a different view in a sense that I think that's what the band has wanted all along, like to be the gate for let's say metalheads to dive into the other stuff as well, and for people who don't listen to metal at all to kind of see that fuck, it's just music, like and that's been, I think, one of the philosophies of the band, to be able to, like, not philosophy is not about like playing in a different kind of festivals, but the philosophy of combining like also people to just listen to the music, listen to the art, fuck the genres. It's not important at all. Like, it's just human mind wants to fixate on and like put like these into different categories. It's art. It's music. That's about it. And I'm really glad that we can play Maryland Death Fest and we can play Flow Festival. That's, I think, what the band is about.
It just speaks to how many people you guys are connecting with.
Yeah.
Like, very different kinds of people, but still people.
It's about like what happens in your mind when you listen to the music. If something clicks there, if your imagination takes over, if you travel somewhere to experience something in your
out of
mind,
body experience.
I don't know about that. It's only inner.
Oh, okay.
I hope so.
But I hope it's going to be like something that you discover in your mind that you haven't discovered before. That's, I think, the ultimate compliment from that I've heard from our music, that you found something new, like you can find through psychedelic drugs or whatever, but also through just art or whatever. It's, I think that's the biggest compliment, and that's what we're after. We don't care about like what it does to the, let's say, is it cool or not cool? I don't give a shit.
How did you end up in the lineup? So, were you guys contacted for that?
Yeah, they just wanted to book the band.
I don't know how they heard about us.
Yeah.
Well, I guess
the guys are music nerds.
They're musically inclined. They know things. Like you said, there's the people you connected with, right?
And a lot of people who, like last time we played the Ilosari Festival, where Portishead played as well.
Exactly, yeah.
I heard that a lot of the same people that came to see Portishead like Oranssi Pazuzu as well. So
that's actually an excellent gateway. Think about the bands that play at the festival. You have a lot of bands that have strong psychedelic influence, so it's a normal, good, logical gateway to you guys.
And I'm hoping like it will make people who don't listen to metal to kind of check out some. Okay, there's some stuff here that is cool and has more meaning than just bang your head.
I never thought about
Nothing
this,
wrong with that.
saying this, but I think that this is a prime example of how well they're doing curating at Flow Festival.
Yeah, it's great. And I think it's a very strong lineup there this year as well.
Any closing
about it
words for you guys for tonight before you guys hit the stage and tear up Vitus?
I'm always really bad at this.
I hope that people are open-minded and come to the show and experience things on their free mind.
Yeah, from their own terms, wherever they come from and how they ended up here to just experience the whole thing.
Perfect. All right, guys, that was Oranssi Pazuzu, again playing here tonight at St. Vitus, and in 2 days' time, on May 28th, hitting up Maryland Death Fest at the Ram's Head. So by the time you guys hear this, it'll probably have already happened. We'll see if we get any feedback from that. But again, thank you folks. This is Tom Companion for Brutalitopia, and joined in by Anton Santanen from Nine Circles. Signing off.